Should I bring my possessions with me from my moldy house to my new house? This is a question that you're obviously going to ask yourself when you try to move. And the answer is no, for the most part. There are things that you can bring. These are things that have wipeable surfaces, flat surfaces, things like that, like I said, wipeable flat surfaces, things like tables, things like that. But anything that is wooden, okay, I would avoid bringing, because wood is food for mold, and mycotoxins can bind to the wood and not be able to be removed. Anything that is porous, I would not bring with you. Things like clothes you can bring, but you have to wash them in borax and baking soda, or do the vinegar soak, or do the borax and baking soda soak. And you might have to wash them 2-3 times to get the smell or the mycotoxins or the mold off of them, right? But you do not want to bring a bunch of possessions from the old house into the new house. Trust me, I have seen this on multiple occasions with people where they remain sick from bringing things from their old house into their new house, and they just don't want to depart with all these things because it's so difficult to let go of some of these things that matter so much to them. But in fact, they bring their symptoms with them because they're bringing the mold and the mycotoxins and all that with them. So you got to remember that mold spores, it shoots into the air, right? So if you have mold that's starting to grow on something, then if you bring it with you, it spores like fireworks everywhere. So all of a sudden you got mold here, you got mold there, you got mold, and it starts growing quickly. Next thing you know, within a period of 6 months, a year, your house is infested and everything is covered in mold because you brought 10 or 12 possessions with you that all had mold unknowingly, and you couldn't see it on there, right? But it was on there, and now it's spored and it started to eat all the material around, etc., right? So you do not want to be in this situation. Trust me, you can lose months of healing. You could believe that you're in a mold-free home. You could have done everything and still be getting sick. So you can not think mold is the actual cause, and then you start believing it's Lyme or whatever, and you start taking antibiotics or antimicrobials. It's a big, big trap. So be very, 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 very careful if you are bringing possessions. What I did was bring some of the possessions to a storage unit first and leave them in the storage unit until I felt better, until my daughter felt better. Once we were better, then I started to really look at these things and see if any of them were really that important. Were they really, really important that I need to bring them in? If so, then I would bring them in after I would wipe them down. I felt good, but at least we were strong enough to tolerate them in that point in time because, now that we weren't living in a black, moldy house. We weren't living in a house with issues, right? So, the reality is, okay, bringing stuff with you is a major, major risk. Rugs, beds, couches, these things are the biggest risk. Bags, shoes, things like this. You got to be very, very careful with this stuff, very careful. And if there is a smell to it, absolutely leave it, unless it's like the most important thing of all to you, right? And then even then, you got to throw that in the storage unit for a while, and you got to go ahead and just possibly chalk it up. Who knows, right? So don't make the number one mistake of all, which is bringing the mold with you to your new place after you've done everything to try to escape it. Now you bring it to your new place because you just don't want to let go of these possessions. Start over. The mold will give you a fresh life. If you really do this, it will give you a new life to go ahead and all these new possessions. It may cost money, but it'll be new things. Make it exciting. Look forward to it, and don't bring the mold with you, please, please. Thanks for watching. Go to my website, endsickness.org. I have plenty of info teaching you how to heal yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. Take care.